make you go to
I'm
work.
doing everything.
All right.
Are you gonna call Stephanie when we need to?
If she's out.
Huh?
If she's out of, yeah. Well, no, I'm not. You got juice. I mean, my phone has been, they wore me out today. Look. Would you like to take a gander at the missed calls that I got back? You can tell it's spring fling time.
We would like to welcome everybody to the Paintsville Lake Historical Association regular scheduled meeting on Monday, May 15th, 2017. Do the roll call. Richard. Jerry Daniel.
Here.
Andrea. Here. Bonnie Porter.
Here, barely.
Bobby.
Here.
Hay Hall.
Here.
Mike Short.
Here.
Approval, if you look over the minutes, approval of minutes and special call meeting of April 17th, 2017.
Hello. Hey, Richard. We're just now going into the meeting. What are you doing, honey? I don't know, honey. Do you want me to call you when we get out of here? Okay. This is Richard.
I forgot to push record. That's okay.
And then what for? What day?
Do we have approval of the minutes?
I make a motion
Okay.
to approve the minutes.
Do we have a second?
Second.
The next is approval of financial reports and payment of bills for April 2017.
I want to go over all of them. I want to look at
All in
of
favor,
them.
not, yeah.
I've not got
Aye.
a list of them.
Okay.
Now approval of minutes, financial report and payment of bills.
No, she's off this week. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I'll call you. Okay. Okay.
I make a motion we approve.
Okay. I'll
Second.
call you when I get out.
All in
Okay.
favor?
Aye.
All right. All right. Okay. Bye.
Is Russell here? Oh, there you are.
Over here.
What's your update on the mountain home place, Russell?
Well, it's doing well. Thank you for asking.
Right there.
We actually finished out in April ahead of about 25% of last year's. So we had a real good April this year. May has started out a little bit slow, but we've had some rough weather. But I don't see till the 31st. I think we're still going to be last year's April. So that's our goal anyway. Everything's looking real good on the farm, you know, as far as our gardening and things like that. We've got out quite a bit. This year we should do probably, I would say somewhere around $4,500 to $5,000 in produce. If everything keeps going like this now. We've had school groups today, and we still have, I think, one more school group this week to help with the spring planting, and that's went over real well this year.
Has it?
Yes, it has. We had a school from Whitesburg today and one from Pikeville today, and just about every school group that we've had this year says that it's the best, you know, the best trip they've had. So it's looking good that way. We've got one more thing that we're doing. It's going to be the 26th and 27th. It's going to be a play, and it's a Lion King. I think I'm right on that.
Yes, you are.
And the dates is what I was talking about
Yes.
too. Sometimes I mess up. But we're going to do that, and that's going to help out some for the revenue.
Yeah, what time will that start?
It starts at 9 because it needs to be dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to help some else.
I know.
But everything's looking real good.
What are you going to do for sound and lighting, Russell?
We're just going to have to, the lighting I can come up with, because we still have the light tower that tourism owns.
Right,
We
right.
have it up there, so we
Right.
have that. It's just the
Can we
sound.
move this sound from the museum?
I think they actually have something, if they don't have anything on that night, we could.
Wait a minute, let me look and see.
I don't know what the museum has on that night, but that's something we're actually going to start working on
What were the dates?
26th and 27th.
That's a Friday and a Saturday.
Right.
So they could take care of the front porch picking, and then if they don't have anything that requires it, then maybe we could
Okay, now do you need sound when we're doing the practice or
I will
we,
need it for my practice.
on the Thursday night?
Thursday, or we can do it sometime, I think it's the Tuesday, that's 12-hour practice.
So we can do it. Is it on Tuesday or Monday?
Hold on, I think it's Tuesday.
So we do have to have sound for
We
that
do have to
night.
have sound to run, well, at least one run through this.
Okay. So we're just about ready to all covered.
Good deal.
Did you get the thing on the K card about the community garden deal?
I haven't had time to even
Okay.
check.
We'll get with that because it's what we've been talking about. It's
Right.
actually a K card grant. So that way they will give us more. We're gonna pick up the things tomorrow from Lowe's, the community garden that we're taking to the rec center.
Right.
So this way that might give us some more raised beds options. So I'll get with you on that and get Virginia's look at it.
Okay.
Okay.
Tomorrow we're actually going to do some work trying on the sound system, trying to get the sound system, and then I think that we're going to actually put up another camera here at the
Different.
tourism.
Different.
Okay.
The ones going at the rec centers.
I'm volunteering to go to Scotland.
He needs.
But everything's looking real good out there. Our orchard's doing wonderful. It's actually coming right along. It's doing good.
Good deal.
Another 3 years of growth on that orchard out there. It'll be bush lights and bush lights and bush lights out there.
That's good.
Various things like that.
Very, very good.
Yeah. Thank you, Russell.
Well, thank you all.
Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We would like to welcome everybody to the Paintsville Tourism Commission regular scheduled meeting Monday, May 15th, 2017. Do the roll call. Richard, Jerry,
Here.
Andrea, here, Bonnie,
Here.
Bobby,
Here.
Kay,
Here.
Mike Short.
Here.
If you look over the minutes and we'll approve for the special called meeting for April 17th.
You have to take care of Nancy. All right.
Yeah, I'm good.
Just note that Mike has been sworn in.
We have a motion to approve the minutes.
So move.
Second.
Second.
The approval of financial report and payment of bills for April 2017. Do we have a motion for the approval of financials?
So move.
We have a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Old business. No old business. The new business, Paintsville Garden Club.
Yes, we're making a request for $2,500 for
the planting of flowers and mulch and other plants that we need. And we were also wanting to do some work on Trimble Boulevard of laying some blocks to keep the dirt in, and we need to refurnish some of our soil is out there is getting really dry and caked up, so we need to put some fresh with fertilizer and that type of stuff in there. And so we've made the request, and we've taken what money we already had. We did a couple of fundraisers and made enough that we could buy some plants because people are real good about helping us and discounting to us. And so we have bought a few plants and gotten the downtown planter. We put 45 geraniums in there and some wave petunias, but we need to plant some more, and we are running out of funds. So you all have been very good to us in the past, and we would like to ask again.
That's what you've requested. When we sent out that letter, right? The 25.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And I came in and I sent in a letter and filled out all the paperwork.
Right. All right. We're working over the budget right now. When we get that done, we'll let you know.
Okay.
How many need it? Just nothing.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully sometime in the planting season, because they're really in dire need.
Yeah, we'll do our best the quickest we can. Like I said, last week we was working on the budget and stuff, and we still got to work on it some more. So we haven't finalized everything.
Okay, and I hope you all will still consider with the Chamber of Commerce the magazine, but that's like a partnership between us. You know, because you have as much utilization of the Chamber magazine as we do. Mm-hmm. So, while you're budgeting,
yeah,
I put a letter in on that.
Did you? Okay.
But thank you for your time.
Thank you, Fran. The Johnson Central High School players, Emily?
Yes. I've written down what I'm going to say because I tend to get off on tangents. But this is available if you all would like a copy. I can make it available to you. Good afternoon. I realize many of you may not know who I am, so let me take a minute to introduce myself. My name is Emily Warren. I am a Paintsville resident and have been for 9 years. I teach English and drama at Johnson Central and have been in charge of the drama department for the last 4 years. While teaching and directing consume the majority of my life, I would like to make it very clear that I am not here as a representative of the school district. I am here as a concerned citizen, and am concerned because of what I have heard, witnessed, and experienced. While I am not a native Appalachian, I feel a strong connection to Paintsville, where I have chosen to make my home. My grandparents grew up in Belfry and Maplewood, West Virginia. The cooking, the accent, the hospitality that one finds here feel very comfortable and familiar to me. I also found Paintsville to where I wanted to root myself because I grew up in a small town. And while it does not offer the experience and excitement of a city, there are many more advantages for me living in a small rural town. Paintsville is my home, and I'm honored to live and work here. Over the past 4 years, I have directed 5 musicals, all of which have been produced at the SIP. Since our first production, Beauty and the Beast, people have recommended we go to a bigger facility that is better equipped for the shows we do. Because as we all know, the SIP was initially built to be a movie theater and is better suited for such showings. My response then is the same that it is now. We are hometown proud. We want to bring something to our community, not someone else's community. I didn't just bring money to the town, which my program does. I know that my program is the most lucrative event the SIP Theater hosts. For the past production, we took in $6,990 at the gate, half of which goes to the SIP. For our past show, we had visitors from Lexington, Kentucky, Canton, Ohio, Huntsville, Alabama, and Chicago, Illinois, and those are just the ones that I know of. These visitors were eating in restaurants, staying in hotels, and shopping in downtown stores. I also heard comments from local residents who, in an attempt to pass time before the show began, wandered into LeBrun's unique boutique, and who stated that they had no idea what a nice and affordable store it was, and that they planned on returning when they had time to shop. I also did some rough calculations for my children. With the last production, I had 52 students in my care. They were out of school for 5 days. And now, just for a moment, let's say that 30 of these students decided to eat out the 5 days they were in town. It would not be a stretch to say that they could spend $20 a day between all 3 meals. That is $600 a day and $3,000 over the course of the show. Granted, that is a rough estimate, but it goes to show that money is being spent in Paintsville that would otherwise be spent if we moved our show to a better suited theater. I work hard in my students to instill a sense of pride in the hometown in which they live. And Paintsville is a wonderful place and a home they should be proud of. We want to stay here. Our goal for keeping our show in Paintsville isn't just to help financially, as I realize what we do generate is very small in the grand scheme of things. We also want to provide quality family entertainment and hometown pride for all of the residents of this county. Before I begin sharing my reasons for being here, I would like to take a moment to thank Jerry, one of the board members. He has been a huge supporter of the program since our first musical, and he continues to be. I honestly don't know how this last show would have gone on without him. When complications arose at the SIP, he opened a second story of his building that he owns across the street, so we would have a place to do makeup and store costumes. He fed my entire cast and crew one meal to help curb the cost of those who can't afford to eat out. He has donated concessions, and now he, wanting to breathe new life into the Mountain Home Place Amphitheater, has encouraged us and helped us take our show there next week. My program, this board, and the town are all greatly blessed by the generosity and dedication of this wonderful man. And I truly hope that doesn't go unnoticed, because I know my cast, adult volunteers, as well as myself, have valued his generosity and sacrifice for many years. I am a firm believer that children rise to meet your expectations, and I do have high expectations for my children, but not just on stage. I have high expectations for their grades and their conduct, both at school and in the community. They are expected to be mature, polite, and well-mannered. They understand that we want the local shops and restaurants to look forward to showtime and to not dread it. While I cannot watch them every minute of every day, I have had many talks with various employees at Espresso Cafe who are all impressed with the behavior of my students. I have many rules and expectations, but two of the ones I stress the most are the fact that we leave things better than we find them, and there is no drama in drama. With this last production, we were able to abide by leaving things better than we found them. We arrived at the SIP for our move-in day. My students spent 4 hours cleaning the facility. The construction dust was everywhere, including on the soundboard, which had been left uncovered during construction. While my students did not clean that area because it's off limits, it was very disturbing to see the lack of care given to this very expensive equipment the town has invested in. They also cleaned without complaint between each performance. They love being at the SIP and are proud that they have been able to provide a small portion of the funds that might have been used to renovate it. They are also proud of their production and know that it is important to provide people a clean and welcoming environment to enjoy the show. Finally, we spent at least 4 hours cleaning before we returned our key and our contract was complete. Sadly, there is no drama in drama was the rule not followed to the fullest extent during our last production. I have been at the SIP when Barbie was in charge. Understandably, we were closely watched our first time using the venue. After Beauty and the Beast, because of the care we gave the SIP, she gladly welcomed us back and allowed us to borrow a copy of the key so we could come and go as needed. After she stepped down or control was handed to Jeremiah, I'm not exactly sure why the day-to-day operations of the SIP changed hands. Things went even better under his care. He frequently stopped in to check to see if we needed anything, to make sure everything was working properly. He was always professional in both conduct and attire. He ensured toiletries and cleaning supplies remained well stocked throughout the duration of our contract and helped in any way necessary. I felt trusted and supported, and my kids felt welcomed and valued. Those were wonderful times. I'm going to take a minute to veer off topic, but I planned this one. I have seen where the tourism director position has been posted. The town has never seemed as welcoming or as vibrant as when Jeremiah was at the helm of the ship we all call home. It would not be an understatement to say that I was shocked and devastated to hear he was stepping down. In this town, if we all have the same goal to see it succeed and grow, needs him. And if we would be fortunate enough for him to return to his post, he needs the unwavering support of this board and of the citizens of Johnson County to make sure he is capable, to make the difference he is capable of making. I'm sorry, do I have the floor? Okay, I'm making sure, thank you. Okay, so please allow me to get back on track, back to the place where I explained how there was drama and drama, back to where I share how saddened I was at the treatment I endured during this time, where I state that I know that I'm not the only one who has endured such treatment. So while it felt like myself and my program were being personally attacked, perhaps the root of the problem was not personal, but something I cannot fathom, as my goals and intentions in using this inadequately equipped facility are truly genuine. Her story is not mine to share, and I will not share it. But I do know that the SIP lost a lucrative client when this person took her business elsewhere. Before I share the details of my experience, I would like to make one thing very, very clear. I am not here in any way to throw Scott under the bus. He was placed in a very difficult position as interim director, and we had a few bumps in the road, but our professional relationship was satisfactory. And I hope it will continue to be in the coming weeks as our production continues to generate interest in the arts in the town. The issues began on move-in day when the SIP was double booked and ended on move-out day when our contract was violated yet again by being interrupted during our final cleaning and move in order to show the venue to a couple renting it for their wedding. During the move, the car show, unbeknownst to Scott and myself, uses the lobby of the SIP for renovations and for registrations and bathrooms. For any of you who have come to the JCHS Players production, you know that we put a lot of effort into our lobby. First impressions are important to us, and our decorations have actually drawn people in to see our shows. On our scheduled move-in day, because Scott was home with 2 sick children, I don't envy him that, Casey, the man in charge of the car show, and myself worked out a plan where I postponed the hours of work I had to do in the lobby to have it ready for showtime because of the double booking. I would not even speak of these minute incidents, except for the fact when I requested the use of space we had always been granted in the past, I was sent a picture of my contract and told I could not use it because it wasn't checked in the contract. It is simply not fair to rely on the contract when it works for you and ignore it when it's inconvenient. The space we needed access to was for costume storage and makeup. We have always been permitted to use the 2 rooms in the back of the balcony without question or concern. The one room was full of leftover construction materials and items found in the theater. There was an open closet in that room, and my request was simply to allow us to move the items into the closet. My request was denied. Thankfully, Jerry opened the building to us because while there is space behind stage and in the basement, anyone who has been back there would easily agree that it would be a tight fit for 52 cast and crew members to prepare for a show. Later that night, I received a strongly worded text message from Scott about the things he found unacceptable after our first day. I quickly called Scott and explained how 2.5 of those items were not my fault. I will say I was responsible for 1.5 of his complaints. Yes, I said a half. Because the rear stage door, which is never latched properly or easily, and which should have been fixed during the renovation, did not latch that evening. There is no handle on the outside of the door to pull to ensure the door is latched. It was closed when I left, but apparently it was not latched. The other complaint I had, I fixed at 11 o'clock that night. Because the SIP had been rewired, I had no idea where the light switches were located and went with my parents and my flashlight to fix the issue. I tell you that simply to show that I am a conscientious tenant. I do not ever want to cause an issue, and I worked hard to ensure that I don't. Scott and I both agreed to put this behind us, and I hope by bringing it up today, he doesn't feel as though I have violated my word. I am simply trying to paint a picture of my experience. I easily forgave him and do not hold it against him, as I know he was overwhelmed with added responsibilities and sick children. That was the last of the issues until Thursday. I had made it known that we were planning on holding rehearsals there Monday through Wednesday, one of which was 12 hours long. I made it known that the SIP would be in use prior to Thursday when our show opened. I did not remember to tell Scott that we had a school matinee planned for Thursday afternoon, but did not consider it necessary as it was not open to the public and did not need to be on the marquee. The school matinees also fell under the times of our contract, which was signed in January. Approximately 1 hour before our show opened, I received a message saying we could not use the balcony because the stair lighting on one side was not complete. The use of the balcony was essential to our show. Our spotlight people had to be up there. Our backup singers had to be up there. I offered to require the kids to use only the completed staircase. That offer was declined. I asked to borrow flashlights and offered to have someone stand on the landing to illuminate the staircase if one of the few cast and crew members who were permitted up there needed to use that set of stairs. That request was denied. I then stated that he, the board, and the contractor knew when the renovations needed to be complete, as my contract had been signed 4 months prior to our show. That the balcony being off limits should have been discussed prior to moving in. It is my understanding that Scott is in charge of the day-to-day operations of the SIP. However, at this point, Mrs. Porter showed up to the SIP to tell me we can't use the balcony. I told her what I had already told Scott, but Mrs. Porter would not back down. I had 220 students arriving in 20 minutes, and my show was near being shut down. It was at this point that I told Mrs. Porter to leave my theater. When she questioned how it was my theater, I told her I was renting it, and I needed her to leave because I had a show to put on. Because of this lengthy interruption, I had to ask the school buses to circle the block until the finishing touches were ready. I don't like to appear unprofessional, especially to other teachers in my district. Mrs. Porter tried to explain that her concern was simply for the safety of the children and that she simply cares for the children. I won't question her intent. I will simply state that the action and inaction that preceded and followed this incident did not back this statement. Someone who is only concerned about the children and who wants to support them would have made it to a production. Of all 5 musicals, she has not attended a single performance. She has also spent a great amount of time sitting on the bench, staring at the SIP, and sneaking back in when I wasn't looking. Both of these actions made my children very uncomfortable, and many of them came and talked to me about it. The kids also witnessed the former cleaning lady who would come in, mill around under some pretense, leave, and go straight and talk to Mrs. Porter. The same lady later expressed to one of my volunteers how uncomfortable she was being put in the middle. Sadly, the problems continued. I learned that she called my boss's boss to report my request of her leaving. She also told someone that there is more than one way to skin a cat, that she will ruin me, and she's been in touch with my ex-boyfriend and therefore has enough dirt to ruin my reputation in this town.
Can we get to the point on this?
I'm going to get to the point.
Okay. We got other stuff on the
We've
agenda.
got it. I'm sorry. That's
and I apologize, but this all needs to be known. Period.
No,
I mean, not at this form, I don't think.
I don't think so.
Well, no.
No, 'cause then you got to be defensive.
Yeah.
I mean, I can easily go to Prestonsburg. I can easily go to Ashland if people have told me to go there.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying that we don't want you at the SIP. I'm
saying these issues need to be brought to light. I was threatened. Do you understand that? I was threatened.
No, I have no idea.
Okay, you weren't listening because I just said.
No, I was listening, but I had no idea till this time.
Right, that's why I'm here. Because I was threatened. And I'm going to make that very clear here in the next couple of minutes.
Well,
I'm sorry, you have 15 minutes. I promise you, and I will be out of here in 15.
We don't have time to sit here this whole night, though.
15 minutes, not the whole night.
We have other things to go.
On your agenda, I called ahead of time. Thank you. And I would gladly send you a copy because I know you tuned it out, so you can read it later.
No, I've not tuned it out.
But I just told you I was threatened. Well, I was not happy. Let me start back here. Well, I was not happy about any of the happenings. I have shared and will continue to share for the next few minutes. It is the threat that brought me here today. Scott, during texting about the balcony, made it very clear the messages were not coming from him. One can easily infer that with that statement and the quick arrival of Mrs. Porter, the messages were from her.
But this isn't about tourism. This is just a sort of
Is it
personal.
about the SIP?
It's about a personal thing.
No,
And it's
it's
going to
not.
go in the
It's
media,
not.
and it's going to be a bad thing.
Ma'am,
And I mean, where you're just making tourism look in a bad light.
No. I'm here because did you not hear where I said
The way it gets wrote in the paper, it'll make it look like tourism is a bad light.
that is never my intent. If that was my intent, I would have gone straight to the paper. I'm sorry you didn't hear the part where I said I'm hometown proud. I still
Oh, I heard that.
I want that to be here.
I heard that.
Now, do you realize that we're taking more time arguing this? And if you would not interrupt me, I would probably be finished.
No, I doubt that, but
Well, then I'll just Alright. One can easily infer with the statement in the quick arrival of Mrs. Porter, the messages were from her. The attempted derailment of my show, the staring down at the theater, the sneaking in, sending in spies, for lack of a better term, and the threat to ruin me can only be seen as using intimidation tactics, making threats, or simply stated, being bullied. Oh, wait.
No, we can have a conversation. You go ahead.
Oh,
because
I promise.
that's okay. Well, I'm not opposed to it either, but you know we're
I understand why y'all are frustrated. Trust me, I've been highly frustrated.
okay.
This behavior can only continue and will continue until someone brings it to light. That's the main reason I'm here today.
Whoever. It's not personal.
She's right here. They're right here.
Okay.
Just go to her.
Yeah.
I'll send you a copy.
Well, the reason it needs to be, if I might say, is because we want to keep it at the SIP. Darren Gamble was circling the block, and I was trying to keep 137 kids chilled out on the sidewalk. And so we want to keep it at the SIP. I don't know if I would be able to bring my classes. I always bring between 100 and 200 every winter, every spring. So there's this one thing in the way. So we would like for tourism to tell us, well, that obstacle will be removed or reduced before we try it again. So that's the point.
well, I'm sure the lighting issue will be.
The lighting issue will be taken. The dressing rooms will be taken care of, and
But it shouldn't take this. This is the point. And this is what needs to be brought to light, is it shouldn't.
Well, it didn't have to come to. You didn't have to come to this point.
But how else was it going to be resolved?
Well, I mean, you talk
Okay,
about
so
later. You didn't have to come to the
then
meeting. You
you
could have talked
got
to.
your-
You could have talked to Scott about this after and tried to.
I did. If you didn't think I did, trust me, I did.
But during the
I'm
play.
5 minutes. Here we go. After the call of my boss's boss and the threat, we dealt with a leaking air conditioner, which we were blamed for. My kids were blamed for hanging on a pipe, which knocked it loose, and we were told that we were caused to overwork the air conditioner because we left the front door wide open. I take offense to my children being blamed with absolutely zero proof, and when nothing like that has happened in the past during our rental time, is it not easily as plausible that a pipe was knocked loose during construction? Why would a paying customer be so readily blamed? A paying customer that has only left the facility better than they found it. Leaving the front door open is not an acceptable explanation. There is currently no heat or air in the lobby. Now, I don't know if there was before the renovation, but I know there isn't now. The lobby was hotter outside, and opening the door could not have caused this problem. Another item Scott was required to address with me was the fact that some of our props were being stored in front of the electrical box. Please keep in mind that these props were made from foam-board insulation meant to be used at home. I moved them without question because I want to be considerate and responsible, but was later upset to discover that at the Stafford House, which is also operated by you all, the electrical box has been covered up by a piano or a picture or something, and I'm trying to figure out how it's okay for one facility and unacceptable for another. Is it that it's dangerous, or was it just another hoop for me to jump through? One of the issues I take the most offense to is the fact that I was given a babysitter for my evening shows. In all of my years of renting the SIP, I had never had such a situation. I was accepting of Morgan's help because Scott presented it to me as he was sending someone from tourism to help out. Morgan, however, told my students she was there to supervise. I wouldn't have minded supervision except for the following issues. First of all, she was a high school senior at that time. That is highly insulting to a teacher to have a student supervise me. Secondly, she was really not all that helpful. She would sometimes complete a task when it was given to her, but when she was caught lying,
What does this have to do?
with tourism, are you all in charge of the SIP? Yes or no?
It is, but I mean, you're just picking out certain people and just.
Are you
Yes,
all,
we are.
Thank you. Do you
But
not
why
know-
wouldn't you file a complaint and let us know?
Because I was not told that was made available when Mrs. Porter came to address certain things with me. Had I been told, that's what I would have done. but I have not been treated with professional courtesy, therefore I am here
Now
today.
you can just calm it down. I'm not getting you irate with you. I'm trying to just move this meeting
I'm being very
along.
direct, and I will be done soon. I will continue. Okay, she was caught being disrespectful to adult volunteers. She talked so much during her production that a patron later complained to me that she had to move. She didn't follow directions all that well. She was not given the ability or the funds to make the toiletries and cleaning supplies remain stocked. I don't mind being supervised. I have nothing to hide. I do, however, ask that you send someone of an appropriate age and work ethic. We also dealt with the fact that the lights went out, the stage lights went out 40 minutes before our show time. These lights had needed fixed prior to our December production of Elf, and that is a commonly known fact. At some point during some installation, the wires were cut and simply patched back together for the time being. Patchwork was not a final answer, but a momentary solution. If the facility is going to be rented for theatrical productions, it needs to be ready to meet the very basic needs of those running the facility. And there is one more thing that I feel needs to be addressed. I had several falls happen during this production. It has never been a problem before now, and these falls happened on the lit staircase and then on the unfinished staircase after it was complete. Black walls, black carpet, and a half bottom step is a recipe for disaster, and it was. After the fifth fall, thankfully Jeremiah found us some tape, some tap lights and some glow tape to help remedy the situation. We also had requested a rug for the lobby because we knew it would be slick when wet. Instead of a rug, we got a sign that read, "Wet floor, slippery when wet." That did not keep one of my players from slipping and falling and hurting his knee, which he had recently had surgery on. After that, a rug appeared. I also discovered, because I nearly put a screw through my foot, that the screws under the seats have not been sawed off, and it is dangerous, and might I add, quite painful. Those screws need to either be capped or sawed off because we are entering flip-flop season, and I would hate for someone to be seriously hurt. I don't want to insult the work that has been done at the SIP. It is never easy to renovate, but attention needs to be paid to details, because while there is no longer caution tape on many of the seats, dangerous circumstances that could have been avoided are now present. I want to continue to instill in my kids that we are hometown proud, and I want to continue to bring something to the community that they truly enjoy. I am here today asking for your help to make that possible. Please let us, the JCHS players, continue to give back to our community. I am not one to just complain without offering a solution or assistance. I would like it to be known that I would be more than happy if ever a vacancy opened on this board. I value my home, and I want to make it the best for every visitor and citizen.
Thank you. Going on to the Country Music Highway Museum, approval of financial reports and payment of bills. Not for Jerry. Let's do his one.
Yeah. I make a motion that we accept the,
Make the motion of the approval of
Second.
Did you have the permission of school to come in?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Now we're Scott. Do you have your executive director's report?
Yeah, just got a couple of things. First, just want to hit on the new signs that we put up at Country Music Highway for Chris Stapleton. You know, they're on the Johnson-Boyd County line. Again, I want to thank Stephanie and Wade for all their help in getting those done and getting Chris the recognition he deserves. Scott Hall had sent me an estimate on the kiosk for the iPads. I think I emailed each of you the image, how it would look, and the cost on that. Didn't get a lot of feedback back on it. It's probably a little bit, cost may be a little too high for right now.
Yeah.
So we can table that and come back to it, look at it again.
And if I could, we're talking about using our drafting department to help draw some, or whatever dimensions. We're out for the summer, so, and you don't want me to do it. That's not a good thing. So I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, that's fine. Met with Adam Turner, who's a gentleman that she referred to as getting married at the SIP. He is, he's still planning on getting married there. He's very interested in doing a concert series this summer at the SIP. They have multiple artists coming in, local artists from out of town. We have Eastern Kentucky roots with them. We're talking about maybe the third Saturday in July to tie in with a cruise in, and maybe have some vendors and stuff down there as well. We have another big Saturday downtown. Those are still details we're working on. On another note, as far as concerts go, Todd Meade has contacted me about possibly doing a Gummy Gentry concert at the amphitheater. He's looking into some details concerning that about available dates and some costs. So that could be something big. I know they're working on the amphitheater right now, getting it cleaned up and getting it ready for Emily's show. And I think we just need to keep rolling on after that, keep putting things at the amphitheater and try to build it up. LED sign, I know everybody's concerned about that. Unisign is our local sign company. They're going to be looking into the parts for that sign. It's not looking very promising. The sign, we may just have to ride it till she books us. On another note with that sign, Lynette's computer, there's a key that goes in the back of that computer. It's like a lock mechanism. Without that key, we can't get on her computer to change that board. So they're looking into that as well. So that's an issue.
And who's got the key?
Excuse me?
Who's got the key?
It's in there. There's like little metal prongs that go into the computer. They broke off. So we can't get any kind of anything going with it.
Okay.
So we're looking into if there's a way to do that or bypass it, maybe some new software that we just do on this computer.
Okay.
Judy Bowen stopped by. I hadn't met her. She's apparently the lady that did the banners that hang from the museum that have all the country music thing on it. She's ready to go ahead and do one with Chris Stapleton and Ray Cordelwine. So I'm just going to move forward with that. I'm sure y'all wouldn't care to have her do a banner with those names on it hang from the museum rafters. Obviously we've had internet issues. I think everybody's aware of that. We're still having internet issues and we're trying to figure that out. I need to mention this because he's watching the meeting. Frank Castle owns some property at the golf course behind the car parks. He mentioned something to me that possibly tourism might want to take a look at. Not sometime about maybe some townhouses, rooms, a stay and play option for the golf course. That he's ready to sell it if anybody's interested. So he wanted me to mention that. Again, we've got several bands interested in using the amphitheater or the SIP for some music. I'm going to stay in touch with them. One security camera is up. One will be up in the morning for this office. We'll work on the museum next. Bicycles, big wheels have been purchased for spring fling down at City Hall today.
Yay! We get to play with children.
Porta potties have been delivered for spring fling and the river races. They're there. And we had a meeting this morning about the river race. We're working out some details, but it's moving forward. We're getting everything taken care of. And then Jenny Wiley, no contact with that property owner. Can't get in touch. Left messages. They haven't got anything back.
Isn't Les going to try and do that?
Well, I reached out. I called just to see.
Who got me?
Yeah, and didn't get an answer. Left a message. Called again. Haven't heard back. So that's all I got.
Could I ask for a brief comment? We had some discussion about, and I'm for anything that our school does as far as recognition. And there's a lot of discussion on Facebook about a sign for Paintsville. We need to recognize what they've done. However, I'm proud of them, what they've done, and whoever got that done, well, I'm sure we'll get that done for Johnson Central as well, because we got two great schools. We'll make that clear. But what I do want to make a point, and Scott, you correct me if I'm wrong. Although we support, the tourism did not fund that. Is that correct? Okay.
Yeah.
I've had several people ask me,
Tourism had absolutely nothing to do with that.
Okay.
That was a conversation between two people
Yeah.
who said that they had been driving around in Pike County and noticed all the signage up there. Why had nothing ever been done in Paintsville? A phone call was made to the State Highway Department. Was discussed on what was going on, and they said, well, we can do that. If Johnson Central wants to do one for their football state championship, all they have to do is make a phone call, just like it was made as far as Paintsville goes, and it can be put at the county line. It had nothing to do with tourism.
Right.
That was all a misunderstanding.
Okay.
Let us make that perfectly clear.
Well, I
It's
had
not
several
bought-
phone calls and I said, no, it was never on the agenda. No, we did not pay for it. No, we did not.
I
No, we
think
did
it's a
not.
misunderstanding because it was shared on tourism page and I was there in.
That's
I was
what.
there.
Right.
Yeah,
But-
but I mean, but people do think that.
Well,
I'm
they
just,
assume, and you
they
know what
assume.
happens there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, there's a lot
however-
of assumptions going on around here.
However, tourism does support both of our schools.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's what I want to make clear.
And that's,
Absolutely.
and that's the problem.
Please. So
You
thank
know,
you.
it's not a county
So I
city.
appreciate that.
It's not a county city thing.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
are proud of both schools. Both schools have done so much, and for the small area that we are, we want to escalate everything that we've done. That brings more people in here.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a county city thing. It's just, like I said, it was a conversation between two people, and we got it done.
When did this conversation occur? Was it before they went to the state?
When did this conversation occur?
Yeah,
about getting this done?
the highway signs conversation, did that occur before the team even went to?
No,
the
this
state?
this occurred about a month and a half ago.
Okay.
And it was just, like I said, other places had this, and we said it had never been done in Paintsville. Nobody knew why. Nobody knew what the process was. So phone call was made and said, well, nobody's ever asked.
Okay, I just want to make it, and we do.
They cleared up the
we're
tourism.
very
We got
proud.
it cleared up. Yeah, we're very
Yeah.
proud of both schools.
Absolutely.
So is that everything, Scott?
Yep.
What about Stephanie? Are we gonna call or is she available?
It's she said around 5:30. It's 5:07. We can try.
Okay.
She's giving this call.
Can you also get an agenda for spring fling, because I'm trying to get it on before Thanksgiving.
I've got one. She's not off. She didn't get hold of them.
Okay.
Well, that's the other time we.
She'll email us.
Yeah, that'll work.
I'll just tell her to email us because she told me if she didn't answer, just so she can email us. So is that okay with everybody?
Yeah.
And do we need to go into executive session?
I think we probably better.
Just briefly.
Briefly.
Executive pursuant to KRS 61.8101 C and F. All in favor?
Aye.
Do we have any commissioners' comments?
No.
Oh, well, no action was taken in executive session.
Nope.
Motion of all motions.
I motion we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?